Hey neighbor, welcome back to a video that I've been teasing for years now. My name is John, and My Chemical Romance are a band that I think I've made my feelings on crystal clear, and if not, come on now, try to keep up. Killjoy for life over here. My Chem are an overly ambitious theatric band that soar high with dramatic themes running through their bloodstream, and if you know anything about them, then you know that's a sincere compliment. Today I'm counting down my picks for their top 20 songs on a list that's changed pretty significantly since my original top 10 in 2016. I just wasn't really happy with that list. It definitely doesn't represent my current feelings. From their post-hardcore influences to what some would call emo or alt-rock and back again, what made the cut for the best of the best? All I ask of you while you watch is that you don't be ridiculous or try to put words in my mouth when you see all of these positions changing. I mean, this is one of my favorite bands of all time that we're talking about here. Every album and even some non-album extras are represented, spanning their entire catalog, but before we hit the gas pedal, I have to ask, are you ready, Ray? Yeah? Well, I think I'm alright. Buckle the fuck up, curb stomp that like button like someone just said My Chem are the worst band of all time, and consider sharing the video out or even subscribing or donating on Patreon, anything that you might feel would help support the channel. You can't convince me that My Chem just haven't had their whole career planned out from the very start, cause this song is part of the living, or should I say dying, proof like Phantoms Forever. The closing track from Bullets douses its surroundings in gasoline before using the guitar as a lighter to set the entire house ablaze. Gerard's cathartic delivery of some of the heaviest lines on the entire record still hits like a dagger in the heart 2 decades later, and if you're looking for a 6-minute out-of-control thrill ride, then look no further. Back-to-back album closers to open the list? Well, that was weird, but hey, our vampire overlords ripped the bandage off with a raging punk grenade that will give you a huge reason to headbang as you hate the Twilight film series right there along with the band. The lyrics are borderline hilarious in the way they intentionally oversell the mood with the hand claps, pianos, and thundering drums before the final meltdown. It takes it all from amazing to god tier. The man said it should have been on the Black Parade. Why, for the love of marching bands, wasn't it on the album? The song is a beautifully sarcastic glimpse at funerals and what it takes to get people there, but more than anything, can we just appreciate how happy this all sounds for a song about death? The guitar work is impeccable and the evolution of the chorus leads me to believe that there's more than meets the eye with the funeral procession in question. Holy fuck, this song is a wild, murderous rampage that I cannot get enough of. You're not gonna find it on streaming, so take to YouTube and hear this rebellious manifesto that deserves to be blasted on speakers worldwide. Taking down authority is clearly priority number 1 for 0%, smashing your face in with pummeling riffage, glitchy industrial electronics, and an overall curveball performance from the band that might take some getting used to, but I promise you, this song entered my top 20 for a good damn reason. Seeing the life slowly pulled from someone's bright soul is one of the most tragic feelings you could ever experience, and I've never in my life heard such a stirring call to action on behalf of all of the broken spirits walking this lonely planet. MCR's haunting reminder to hold on to your humanity is sincerely heartbreaking, knowing that a person contemplating suicide may still choose to take their own life whether they try to intervene or not. There's just a whirlwind of strong emotions flying about, queued up even further by the swell of music that hits these massive heights as Gerard's vocals become even more desperate to help. For the last time, take a good hard look. Forever a certified fresh classic for the scene kids, this and pretty much every other song in my top 20 remain some of my favorites of all time. The shouty vocals, iconic lyrics, unforgettable guitar solo, thrashing drums, and spiraling loss of control all remind us why this song will never die, much like our emo days that indeed
wasn't just a phase, Dad.
Could you cry for me? 'Cause I don't feel bad about it.
This album was recorded in a haunted mansion, so of course night terrors were gonna come into play near the end of this maddening concept album about a dying cancer patient that's destroyed every relationship in his life, including the one with his own mind. Sleep is like 5 captains pulling at the sails and writing the course of their ship despite the stormy seas erupting with the threat of a massive hurricane. Our patient is in a spiral as revealed by the eerie tape recording glitches that open, evoking the presence of a graveyard with some foreboding pianos that lead us closer to that dying light. It's such a masterclass in how to give your character depth without making it overly complicated to the point where it can't be enjoyed outside of its story, backed up by this explosive guitar momentum, monstrous drums that break straight through your stereo, and vocals that sound so killer but somehow so apathetic at the same time.
And now this red one make me fly, and the groove I sail without. When I think I blow my brains against the ceiling, and as those fragments of my skull begin to fall, while on your tongue I can see them, just think how big.
Headbang the demons away all day while Headfirst for Halos plays. Call me Dr. John, cause I just filled your prescription incorrectly, because in reality this song is extremely depressing as our narrator self-medicates the days away amidst the waves of depression and suicidal thoughts. Thrashy guitars whip things into shape with the domineering backbone coming from the original drummer Matt Pelliser, who some have noted looks a lot like me. When you pause to look at the lyrics behind the hard-hitting punk sound, which I'll admit is still what hooks me most to this day, you've got this intense battle of life and death as our narrator eventually falls prey to his own mind and ends it all. It's wild because things are put so bluntly some could see it as disturbing, but I see it more so as an honest interpretation of depression that led to addiction and eventual death. Whew, may modern living spare us all. Is bordering on the brink of exasperated tears on every single listen a sign of a great song? If so, then yeah, the Ghost of You is up there, man. This track is straight up rude to my well-being with its impactful vulnerability regarding a lost love. Apparitions, phantoms, and ghosts have always been a major key in My Chem's discography, we've already established that, but the two Demolition lovers are separated by 2 entirely different worlds here, torn apart by the cruel embrace of death. I was obsessed with this song and music video back when Fuse would air extended blocks of MCR videos, and clearly I'm not even close to falling out of love with this soaring ballad that proved just how multi-talented all the members actually are. The guitar tone is dark and suspenseful along with the culling bass line, setting the mood for this questioning of a higher power like, how could you take her from me? It's gut-wrenching to say the least, but it's also one of those tracks that we all high-key love to belt in the shower. Songs That Saved My Life, ARTV edition. Famous Last Words ranks among the tracks that sort of pulled me back from the edge of the darkest times of my life as a kid, and I owe a ton to its optimism, even in the middle of anguish and pain. I didn't really have a bad life or anything, I just felt severely misunderstood. My parents were super strict and my family was relatively poor. We moved away from the only people that had a similar taste in music to me, and I went to a school that berated me for listening to anything other than gospel, essentially. It was a nightmare, but this was a spark of hope that I desperately needed and will always hold close to my blackened emo heart. Ray fucking Toro. Do I even need to say anything else? Frank too, I mean they duel it up on the solo, which is one for the record books, but my god, Ray really takes the reins in some of the best aspects of this flamethrower dead. This is the second track after the dismal opener The End, which I almost count as a part of this pick because, come on, that transition from a heartbeat monitor flatlining straight into the opening wall of noise on Dead? Don't tell me you don't believe in God, because that beam of light is coming straight from heaven. You thought you were in a toxic relationship? That's cute, but here's the Demolition lovers living the hell up to that name in almost every way known to man. Reeling audiences in from the start with its edgy riff and smoking bass groove, things take a turn for the angrier as Gerard laments the struggles of addiction that seem to have made this narrator's relationship crumble to the ground. You see, kids, this is the type of chemical romance you stay away from, as the guy seems imbalanced to the point of delusion over this messy-ass breakup that's airing dirty laundry all over the front lawn. However, this might be your anthem if you've ever been cheated on, given a lyric like, "You won't fuck my friends, we're not working out," The boys just make it all such twisted fun as they stick the knife in a way that I can't even be mad about at all. As an artist, crafting imagery that captures the mind's eye and never lets go has to be incredibly hard to do. I know that I couldn't even fathom doing it well, considering I ran out of new ways to describe songs like 2 years ago. The Sharpest Lives is quite literally wicked fun, conjuring up quite the image when Gerard sings "Drop the dagger and lather the blood on your hands, Romeo," one of my favorite lyrics that they've ever penned, hands down, for some evil reason. Evil, there's a good word to describe the song. It feels evil, like, sorry everyone, I just need to go out and sin really quick. I just listened to The Sharpest Lives. The stellar drum work made me do it. Well, that and the unrelenting stamina Frank and Ray seem to have on this one. The spooky choral chants during the solo are insane. I swear that I just kind of sit and repeat that part on occasion. Keep coming back. But from the brooding grind of the opening noise to the sudden halt at the end, it all ties together extremely well. Three Cheers had a surprising amount of Western Saloon energy going on, which is honestly pretty cool. I mean, Hang 'em High is fantastic too, but this one just stole the show right out from under everything. It does not get the love it deserves. Manic is the best way to describe the vocals on it, and you'd probably be on that wavelength too if you were an outlaw that finally got tossed in jail for the first time. Prison ain't pretty, and I'd say they did an electrifying job at driving that into our collective heads. Burt McCracken from The Used does backing vocals throughout the song to add this extra sense of tormented anguish, knowing that if this guy doesn't get out soon, he's quite literally gonna go insane. Sanity aside, holy shit, this song is a blast to shout along with at the top of your lungs. The jangly piano opens it up before a volcano erupts, and from there, well, I'll let you do the math as to what happens next.
Let's blow a hole in new stir and do it talking with the laser beam.
I'll take songs that turn your day around completely for 2,000, please. Answer? Bulletproof Heart, a dazzling showstopper that's completely over-the-top, bombastic, balls-to-the-wall, laser beams flying spectacular. The thrill ride never stops from the moment you hop on board. You're just right there in the California desert, outlaw mode activated. Frank Iero was the lead writer for the riff structures on this one, and the man deserves a medal for bringing it to the rest of the band, because this album would not be the same without it. Tidal waves of sorrow bury themselves deep in your chest as the tense "This Is How I Disappear" ignites a seance down below to connect to someone in the afterlife. Straight up, you have to experience this back to back with The Sharpest Lives. These two just belong together. Call it Mariah Carey. Deadly ghouls claw away at sanity with a snarling riff that cuts like a motherfucking chainsaw, and these outstanding vocals hit with the punch so hard, it's not even fair. It's a KO every single time, yet here I am crawling back in the ring just for My Chem to give me another brutal beatdown.
Know that I will never marry, and baby, I'm just soggy from the chemo, but counting down the days to go. It just ain't living.
I'll save the sad story I've told 100 times, but this song reached me in an extremely hard time in my life where I almost lost a family member, so outside of the obvious connection I feel there, this is a tear-jerking ballad that could rip the heart out of the most callous person on the planet. It really puts things in perspective from the patient's point of view, cursing this life he's given up on, and basically instructing anyone that will listen what to do with his belongings. I always pictured this as him talking to like a nurse or a doctor, given how much he alienated his family with his reckless actions, but the real finisher is just the piano work. It's beautiful, and it still haunts me to this day. Performing this song live, it's a fucking death wish, I'm sure, because good God, this track never lets up for a split second to breathe. I love it for that. It's just unharnessed vitality, non-stop for 3.5 minutes until everyone involved is lying in a pool of blood, sweat, and tears. You know what you're signing up for with this one. It's an unforgiving story of desperation and a last-ditch effort to reunite with a lost lover, backed up by some of the best guitar and drum work you will ever hear from MCR. Helena grabbed my attention the second I saw the music video on TV, and to this day, it remains one of my favorite visual companions and songs of all time. My Chem were so much smarter than the other scene bands popping up around them in terms of songwriting, riff structures, imagery, suspense, musical competency, and pretty much any other box you could possibly check. It still stuns me just how wild this whole experience is. I mean, it's a head-on equation. Funerals plus grief plus anger minus will to continue on equals Helena in a handbasket. Finally, some math that makes sense. Get behind it, sing it loud, it's just a stick of dynamite waiting to make your cars collide. I see everyone still shuffling in. Go ahead, come on over, go ahead, come on. Welcome to the first ever I Can't Believe He Put This Song at #1, even though this affects my life in zero ways support group for viewers of ARTV. Pull up a chair, cry your tears into the community bucket, and know that deep down, I truly do not care if you hate this pick, and that comes straight from here. Is that my heart? Where is it? There it is. Even 2 years ago, this might not have landed at the top of the throne, but here we are, Disenchanted all the way up at #1. This song is unbelievably slept on. I myself slept on the song for years, but the credit it deserves is finally blooming in spades on what I consider to be the king among kings, the leader of the Black Parade. Failing to realize this work of art's vital importance to the concept of the album both thematically and musically is a crime to humanity, as our beloved patient nears the end of his rope, reflecting back on the dismal life he led. Words hurt, memories cannot be erased, scars don't heal. They flesh out these wounds in the dying light of his final days, opening gently with an acoustic passage before ushering in this triumphant as hell chorus that rivals Welcome to the Black Parade in terms of scale. Melancholic mood swings as life passes before his eyes. There is the movie poster tagline to sell you on this. Disenchanted is just amazing right down to the title, with that word meaning let down. How scary is that to think about, to reach the end of your life and all you can think about is what you didn't do? It terrifies me as well, but let this serve as an anthem for living life, not taking it. I 100% stand by this as my #1 pick, and if you think that I'm wrong, then this never meant nothing to you. Hey, that's the end of this list. I can't believe that this video is finally ready to be seen by the general public since I've been tinkering back and forth with it cautiously for months now. I truly hope that you enjoyed seeing my favorite My Chemical Romance songs, and if you enjoyed the top 20, then take a split second to like this video and share it out with a friend or maybe a community you're a part of. Thank you for watching this video, it really means a lot to me, and I know it does to you, the My Chem fans, as well. Your patience, see what I did there, is appreciated, and as a thank you, I'll try and put together another underrated songs list for them in the near future. In the meantime, you can watch every single MCR video I've ever made by tapping this playlist here, or you could watch another top 20 list I put together over here. Consider supporting my work on Patreon at the top link down below if you're able to do so, subscribe for the love of music, and I'll be back with more right here on ARTV.